Okay, so top-heavy fractions now. So these two here on the top are top-heavy fractions. Sometimes they're called improper fractions. Okay, they're improper because basically, or top-heavy because the top number, in other words, the numerator, is bigger than the denominator. So you don't often see this. You haven't necessarily dealt with this so far. Okay, but it does come up. There's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely fine, but it's just not the general kind of usage that we have for fractions. This is more like what we want it to be. This is what we call a mixed number. Okay, so where basically we have a whole number and a fractional part, because that's what we mean here. Okay, when we've got a top-heavy fraction, basically we mean it's bigger than one whole. So if you think about if you have 4 quarters, that is one whole. If you think about a pizza, if you ate 4 quarters of a pizza, you'd eat the whole thing. If you ate 5 quarters of a pizza, you'd have eaten the whole pizza plus an extra quarter. And if you think along those lines, then it's easy to kind of change between these two. So these ones, we're going to change into kind of numbers that look like this. We're going to change into mixed numbers, and then we're going to change these ones to top-heavy fractions because there's uses for both of them. Okay, so we need to be able to change between the two. Right, so if I look at that top one, 30/8. Basically what I'm doing is I'm trying to work out how many 8/8s I have in 38s, because if I know how many 8/8s I have, then I know how many wholes I have. And that's what I'm kind of trying to separate out. So I have at least one. So I have 8/8s. I have another one because I have 16/8s. I have another one on top of that because I actually have 24/8s there. I don't have any more than that because 32/8s, okay, that would be 4 wholes. Okay, that's too many. That's more than I have. Okay, so I've got those 24/8s. So I've got 3 whole parts, and that's 24/8. So I've got 6 left over, and that's just a remaining 6/8. Okay, and if I have 3 6/8, I can simplify that, and that's just 3 3/4. Okay, and in some instances, it's a better way of writing it. Right, there's lots of ways of doing that. As I say, you can keep going up in 8s. So I have 8/8, 16/8, 24/8. That's 3 whole pizzas, whatever you want to think about it, and 6/8 left over. The quicker way perhaps of doing it is to just divide. 30 divided by 8, okay, is 3 remainder 6. And if it's a remainder of 6, that means it's a remainder of 6/8, which I can just simplify to 3/4. So for this one here, 27/4, okay? If I do 27 divided by 4, that gives me 6, okay? Because 4 6s, that's 24, so I've got 3 left over. So I've got 6 3/4 there, okay? If I just added up 4s, okay, I've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, that's 6 of them. Any more, if I went to 28, then I've got more than I actually have. Okay, so I've got 6 full kind of sets of quarters, and I've got 3 left over, 6 3/4. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going back the way. I'm just doing this in reverse. Okay, so again, a couple of ways of thinking of it. I can think one, right, I want to think of that one whole. I want to think of it in terms of thirds. If I have one whole, that's basically 3/3, isn't it? Plus these extra 2/3, that's a total of 5/3. And that's it. That's literally back to a top-heavy fraction. Right, the quick way of doing this, and I don't really like this way of doing it because it will get you confused because there's too many numbers going on here. You can do 1 times by 3 and then plus the 2. That'll give you 5/3. So here you do 5 times by 7, which is 35, plus 4, that's 39, and it'll be sevenths. I don't really like that way, okay? So I'd be thinking, right, if I've got 5, I want to think of the 5 wholes in terms of sevenths. So 7 sevenths is 1 whole, 14 sevenths is 2 wholes, 21 sevenths, 28 sevenths, 35 sevenths. That's that bit there. So the 5 is 35 sevenths. Plus I've got these extra 4 sevenths. I've got 39 sevenths. Okay, and that's changing basically from top-heavy fractions into mixed numbers and then back again if we need to.